Welcome to Principles of Management, offered online or hybrid by the College of Lake County. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This week we're going to be talking about Chapter 13, Motivation. And you've already had a lot of this in the Introduction to Business 121. What you've learned in 121, you're going to talk about Maslow, ERG, McClellan's need. But what I wanted to do out of this one is that you're going to take this and you're going to look at it from a managerial perspective. There you're looking at individuals. Now I have to look at taking all this and how do I incorporate this within my team, within my process. Because as a manager, you're going to be evaluated on how well you manage individuals. And that's what you're looking at, the managerial aspect of it. Not so motivation is, even though you're paying them well, how do I motivate them so they're always pleasant, always trying to strive, and always pushing the other, pushing the envelope a little bit. Okay, so what do we have here? You got the motivation thing. So what's motivation? Basically, I had to find out what the needs of my individual team members are, and then I find their behaviors, I understand them, and how do I reward them to meet their needs. If they don't have a need, and I can't find that need to fulfill that need, it's very hard to motivate. It could be a promotion, it could be a raise, it could be because I want some job satisfaction, or I'm bored, or whatever. So all those needs are important. So motivation is, why you join an organization. Some organizations give you empowerment, is that I let the individual make more decisions. They're more motivated, they're more empowered because they can make the decisions as they need. They show up for work to perform better for the organization. Okay, now three types of motivations, and I got intrinsic, extrinsic, and pro-social. If I look intrinsic, and all the other ones is, if I could get them more for feeling inside, self-worth, then that's going to be motivated. The other one is extrinsic, pat on the back, rewards. We have Maslow, and then you have the Herzberg talking about them, and all the reinforcement. All those are important in the whole mix of motivating an individual. The other one is the pro-social motivation. We are people of social need. So if I could have the motivation as a team motivator, get people more involved, then they'd be not as energetic, but the rest of the team to momentum and get them motivated because they're part of the team. So I motivate the team and the individuals, and everything else works out well. Okay, so Maslow, we had the hierarchy. Remember, physiological safety, what goes up on the hierarchy, and this is inverted, so it goes like this. It comes down, it works up backwards. So as I hit each one of these, as I go up the ladder, I should basically hit self-actualization, should be the peak. But if something that happens, I lose my job or anything else, I could fall back. So you have to understand where the individual is and what are the triggers at that specific time in the career of the individual, both personal and from a career basis. Existence, readiness, and growth depends on the individual and the company and the process where they go out. So the ERG method is another way of motivating an individual. McLean's acquired needs. If I look at acquired needs, needs for achievement, needs for affiliation, needs for power, most of us at some point of our life want those needs to be fulfilled, and that'll motivate us for the next job. So if I'm looking at the individual that wants to strive with their organization, and that's how I'm going to meet the needs. Okay, now Herzberger, the hygiene and the motivating. Remember, hygiene factor is a nice wall on the walls, pay and everything else is nice, but it's not really a motivator. The motivator is the intrinsic, the inside the individual. And equity theory. When I look at equity theory, it's how much inputs to the output. So if I'm looking at if I'm looking at inputs, outputs, the equity theory ties in with the expectancy theory. If I look from international, and I talk to Japanese, what they call managers that are motivating, that are working here in the U.S. and working for, have American workers that are underneath their control and responsibility. And I said, what's the difference between motivation of American workers and motivation of Japanese? He says they're universal, they're about the same. They all want to get promoted, family, personal needs, everything else you're learning about Maslow and Herzberg, all that ties for different culture. The difference between American and Japanese is what I was taught, that in Japanese, they will be motivated because they know the company and the manager, they trust them, they will basically fulfill whatever needs they need beforehand. They'll do the job and they'll be rewarded accordingly. Where American workers, before we do it, we want to know what is the reward, the rewards first, and then how much input, and then we'll decide whether this is the way we want to go or not. If the reward doesn't justify my input, you're not going to be motivated. Or do you see with the different culture is different? Not use Japanese as one, but different. You have European, you have Japanese, you have Hispanic, Mexican, all different motivation. Then you also have what are an engineer versus a salesperson. What are my rewards, and what motivates me is a little different. Because of the different functionality and the discipline. So if you look at motivation, it is very complex from a managerial perspective. Goal setting is what most managers do. You'll sit down, with set certain goals, you agree with the goals, and we make the goals. So when you get you meet all my goals, doesn't mean you'll get exceptional. Means you just met the goals that we agreed on. The goal, what I'm looking for a manager is the one that's going to take the goals that we agreed on and give me above and beyond. Gives me 110% or 120%. Those are the individuals that are going to move up within the corporate ladder. Those are the individuals that really have the vision and motivation as a manager and entrepreneur, or the next person I want to promote. Those are the type of individuals I'm looking for. And now I finally have the jobs, or I have different individuals. I have to look at different. How do I motivate individuals and they're stuck in the same job? I try to see the skill variety, the different tasks, the different significance, how much responsibility, empowerment to let the individual, and feedback. All those, what you look at the chapter, those all help individuals, for me to understand and help the individual know, I know what triggers that you're looking for. I know what motivates you, and I try to provide you with tools to meet and fulfill the needs, not only from a corporate or for a professional perspective, but also from a personal perspective. Then you have reinforcement, positive, negative, extinction. When I look at positive, I don't reward anyone or give them any kind of positive comments. They're going to go extinction. I have no value. He doesn't think I mean anything. So basically, all those are important. So remember, I remember my my superstars, and I remember my more difficult employees that are to manage, but I forget the individual in the middle. And that's the 90% of my workforce are solid workers that need to be motivated and need to be reinforced and to work at. Once in a while, I have to do the punishment. That should be a small percentage. Most of my motivation tools should be tools that they to work with intrinsic. They love their job and they see meaning and they have the ability to perform their tasks and meet the goals that I require of them. And compensation piece, bonus rates, share rate, gain, stock option. So some of them are different depending on your management or of your salary, but they all are motivation tools that basically work on the hygiene factor or look at the first few levels of Maslow and working work. And non-ways of compensation would be flexible work, work benefits, education, sabbatical, flexible personal life, time off, and that's usually more for the for management where they're on salary, so that I can't give them any more money because they're already locked in, and for the next until the next review. But I could give them other things that give them some time off and to work on the weekend, or to do some trade shows, or to do some other flexibility. So I'm not paying them overtime. And when you're looking at a salary, so you get 40 hours, and you're looking at about 10, 15 additional hours should be part of the compensation package for management going forward. And then when I do the performance appraisal, I should have SMART goals, which are very specific, measurable, that can measure, but that you can't touch them, action oriented, the person has the ability to change the outcome and results, and time. I always have to say you have to do it within this time thing. Otherwise, it just keeps on dragging on. With this class, you know when the homeworks are due, and you get the full grade. If you're late, you get compensated down. And then operating conditioning, and I'm looking at certain environmental cues that we're looking at, behavior and consequences on those cues. That's all kind of part of the motivation. You need those triggers, just like that would motivate someone to buy something. What you learn about motivation here as a manager, if you're a marketing manager, you're using the same conceptual skills and using the same theories, but how do I motivate people to buy my good? And then I have social learning. So basically that is, I've got 9 minutes, I'm underneath my 10-minute goal, and that basically is Chapter 13, Motivation. And remember, you're looking at this, everything you learned from Introduction to Business 121, but now you're looking at it for all individuals, and how do I incorporate it, because I got people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different triggers, different age, different demographics, and they need different triggers, but I should have all this in a tool packages, and I'm utilizing all this so I can motivate different individuals. That's what makes it interesting, makes it challenging as a manager, and that's what a lot of people like about management. It's always changing, it's flexible, it's fluent, and I have to adjust to where my team members are to give them different strokes, a different way to motivate them. All right, so we're all good on this one. So read the chapter, do the connect, and and we'll discuss this within the classes and do the debate, and you should do very well on this chapter. And I'll give you the mind map, because this is a very important chapter. You're going to be really great as a manager, how well you motivate. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and this is chapter 13. This is Business 221, hybrid or online, offered by the College of Lake County in conjunction with, of course, Blackboard Management System. Bye.